What is up, YouTube? Troken here. Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we're going over the deck list that everyone is talking about this week. Absolutely everyone. And that is Prismats Rengar list that he brought to the showdown in Ottawa. And yes, it is very strong. A couple of reasons I wanted to showcase this deck. One, I believe Prismats is the GOAT. He's a very good player, deserves a lot of recognition. And two, we are going to the showdown in Speyer, Germany tomorrow. Very exciting. And I wanted to kind of make a deck list video about this, kind of going over, what the strengths of the decks are. Do some gameplay at the end of the video, because I need to know how this deck functions in order to play against it. So something I'm probably going to construct this season, play a couple times with my Nexus Knights, because, again, Prismats is the GOAT. He is off Annie, sad day. However, here we are for those Rengar players. Congratulations. You may have a best deck in the format in your hands. And also, it is actually kind of, beginner friendly in the sense that, it's not too terribly expensive other than the Kaisas, right? And also, yes, of course, there is, an expert, level to navigating this deck in terms of where to trigger your Pride Stalker, during certain showdowns. If you're ambushing things in, that is when the deck becomes very intricate and very hard to navigate. However, at face value, it is just inherently strong. So for those that are wanting to get into Rengar, or sorry, not Rengar, Riftbound, rather, and, just pick up a deck that is one strong. Maybe you don't need to buy all the Kaisas. You can throw some things in there and just have some fun with your friends. This deck is relatively cheap to build, but incredibly strong. So let's just get into the deck list. Again, I'm not Prismat. I don't know how to navigate the deck as good as he is. However, there is some gameplay where we were able to, 2-0 an opponent. So Pride Stalker, for those that don't know, when you play a unit, give a unit +1 this turn. Very efficient at playing around with the breakpoints of some of your opponent's units, right? Aurelia is obviously one of the more difficult ones because they can consistently get +3 if it's choosing their Aurelia. However, this does help with it as we can ambush some things in and kind of get over some of Aurelia's spells, and also kind of just bounce our things that they want to Defiant Dance with Thrill of the Hunt. Historically for me, Aurelia is the hardest matchup just because I'm very bad at playing against Aurelia. But I did play, a couple games with this list. Played against Aurelia and was able to 2-0, which was fantastic. It felt so good. I was so happy about that. Getting to the rune split is 8 body and 4 fury runes. Battlefields are Empress Deus, Empress Dias. Please don't hate on me for saying the way I say it. Seed of Power and Star Spring. I really like Star Spring game 1. If we win, then Empress Dias is really good. Then Seed of Power. Days, whatever. Yeah. Generally, I mean, he was 2-0ing left and right until the final. So I don't think he one battlefield he didn't see probably the whole entire time. Depending if he wants to switch around the battlefields, or what battlefield is second or third, depending on the matchup. But generally, Seed of Power you really want if you're going first. This is a really strong battlefield if you're going second too, because you could just pop things back into your hand your Tasty Fae folks and stuff, and develop some might. And also, don't forget that the Sand Soldier token being played triggers your legend ability. So, very important. Chosen Champion, Orange Rengar. Nothing more to say about this. This card is ridiculous, and the fact that it sits at your Chosen Champion, it's something your opponent always has to worry about. It's there's just going to be a 7 might unit hopping over. So, I have to prepare myself for that. And sometimes it slows down their tempo if they have to worry about the Rengar so much, right? That, on top of a punch first, just makes it a 12 might unit attacking. So, yeah, pretty crazy. One of the best units that came out in Unleashed, honestly. Vex and Rengar were the best 2 cards. Furthermore, Sabotage, obviously, sometimes there are things that you don't want your opponent to have in hand, and Sabotage is a really good way at taking care of that, as, you get to reveal their hand, one, information, and just take away a non-unit card, and they get to recycle that card. So, very strong because things don't become visible if it is a spell in purple that costs 3 or less. 3 energy and 1 power. Punch first, +5 to a unit. Nothing more to say. Very strong card. Inferna, really relevant. If you're moving a unit into a battlefield and you throw in Inferna for 2 energy, it is a 4 might attacking unit with the Pride Stalker trigger. Again, really efficient at mixing up those breakpoints. Fey Folk, the Irresistible Fey Folk. It is a charm on a stick. It is one of the best cards in the deck. There's many ways to save it with Star Spring, also with Grim Apothecary, pumping it back to your hand. Also, if you're ambushing, you can pump it a bunch of times. Even before moving the Irresistible Fey Folk, you can play a Pit Rookie to get up to 3 might, move it in, then you can throw in a Dolly, ambushing, depending on how many runes you have, or accelerate a Pike, or whatever. You can get it pretty high in might to the point where do they want to kill the Fey Folk or do they want to kill the other unit is basically it, if you can't find ways to pop it back to your hand. But really efficient at picking apart your opponent's board, especially if they start to tap out and overcommit and trying to double conquer often. So really great card, really great 2-drop for orange, especially in this deck. Speaking of Pit Rookie, it's just a 2/2. When it gets played, you buff a unit with the Pride Stalker trigger. It's giving something +2 for the turn, and effectively, the buff as well for the rest of the game. If it survives, just really good. Crazy things you can do. You can even, thrill of the hunted if you really want to just like spam buffs, across the board. But honestly, just like, playing this and just break points in might is what the deck wants to do. It wants to conquer. It wants to hold for a turn. It wants to pull everything back, then ambush in. Very fast at scoring points, and Pit Rookie helps you get over their might very easily. Signature spell, Thrill of the Hunt. Prismat said it's not one of the best signature spells, but still pretty good. I think it's really good for the fact that it can just cheat points out on your opponent's turn. They move into a battlefield with a high might unit, and you have a low might unit. You could just throw the hunt onto an empty battlefield, score a point if they can't move into it, and then you get a hold point. So effectively, this card has a pseudo text where it says score a point and hold, depending on the situation, obviously. However, the fact that it can escape like some targeting things in Singularity, Charms, Falling Stars, Defiant Dances, makes it very good in my opinion. Next, First Mate. Crazy things you can do with this card on Star Spring. You throw the First Mate in the Star Spring, you ready the unit once it goes back to base, and you can go into the other battlefield, scoring a point or starting a showdown. Just a solid 3-drop, buffs the unit, gives something, get something ready. Just, again, any unit, it just gives a +1. So if it has a effect that generally decks play just for the normal effect, it is better in this deck, right? Like, Master Yi plays this card, yes, with their legend ability, it gets +2 defending. However, this gives something +1 for the turn and readies it. So really good in my opinion, honestly. Next, we have the Grim Apothecaries. Like I said, it's just like something you play, hits for 4, if you want to Pride Stalker it and bounce something back to your hand to save. Essentially, if they want to overcommit into one battlefield, if you're Rengar sitting there or something and you're holding on to the other battlefield, you can play the Grim Apothecary to put the Rengar back into your hand, saving it, and then usually popping it down for the next turn for the Conquer Then. Tons of things you could do with this card, honestly. This card is just, the more I play it, the more I see it in decks, the more I'm realizing the crazy things that it can do. Also, if you move in a Inferno into a battlefield on your second turn, and they do something to get over the might of 3, right, because it's Assault 2, you can play the Grim Apothecary, buff the Grim Apothecary with your Legend ability to 4, and pop the Inferno back to hand, and then use your other 2 energy just to play the Inferno. So now you have 8 might. So you went from 1 might, you went from 3 might to 8 might by just playing 2 cards, which is pretty crazy. Next, Kinku Initiate. The one thing that I noticed, and I think a lot of people do, is that orange and red don't really have strong card draw, other than like maybe Kaisa is consistently the card draw queen. And the fact that when you play this, you get to choose the triggers in order. So, if you have a 4 might unit, like for instance the Kaisa, you play Kinku Initiate, the Pride Stalker triggers, Kaisa becomes a 5 might unit, and you draw a card, and you get to develop a body. So this is a really important card. Generally, it sucks if that's your only 3-drop. If you're going second, then it is what it is. However, the fact that you can develop a body, put something with another +1 trigger, and then draw a card if something is 5 might, or any of your other cards. So this actually doesn't count for itself, just so you guys know. But yeah, card draw is important, and this deck is just like really lacking other than the Dolly. But generally, orange and red suffer from card draw, so that's why that is in there. Pocket Club, pretty crazy card. Prismat was saying he may put another one in here because it's effectively Teemo, right? You hide it and then you reveal it and it becomes a 4-might unit. And it's just like, having 4-might pop out of nowhere from the board is pretty strong these days. And speaking of which, there's also the Pike. Really strong 3, and if you pay the additional cost of burning the Fury Rune, it has to be Fury Rune. It comes on board for 5 from Hidden, which is really good, and it's ready, and it has ganking. So, super strong card. There's, I believe, 2. Yep, there's 2 in the sideboard. Next, some removal stuff. Rampage. At face value, initially, when I saw this card, guys, I was just like, yeah, I don't know about this. Like, isn't just challenge better? But the +2 is so good, man. The +2 is so good. They fight. It is at slow speed, but the +2 for an extra energy is if you're looking at like what's better, challenge or rampage. Rampage is hands down just better because then you could choose, right? You don't have to. Sometimes you just have more might than the opponent's unit that you want to just like pick off. And if you don't, you have that flexibility in there. So the fact that it's more flexible than challenge, I believe it just came out on top, and that's why challenge is out and rampage is in. Speaking of card draw, we talked about Nadali a little bit. Great ambush card. It is a little power hungry with the power cost, but you ambush in, attacks for 5. If it survives and wins the combat, you get to draw 1. There's nothing else too crazy to talk about. 3 Kaises, of course. It's just like always the goated red card. 4 for 4, accelerate. When I conquer, draw a card. There's nothing too crazy about that. Noxus Hopefuls, again, like we're just playing some cheap stuff. And, honestly, if it's like late in the game and you have a bunch of runes, like effectively for 2, you can also just develop a 4-might unit at your base and like buff other things to move into battlefield. So the fact that it gets a discount is really, really good. 1 Darius, generally it's just like, yeah. We're really good with our curve, right? It's not too crazy power hungry other than the punch firsts, right? So if we get to the mid to late game and somehow they've come over us, having Darius just getting ready and moving around, just very strong. And 1 Ferris Runner, really cool because if they kill the runner, the mechs get played, and then you can use the Pride Stalker triggers for the mechs so they can't get Falling Starred. That is a quote from Prismat himself, which is really strong, and that's why, Ferris Forward is the deck. He also mentioned it's just a really good card at holding, right? But also, if you're not playing against purple, then you just put 2 more runners in. And then also, if I remember correctly, he was talking about Decree of Strength. When you play against blue, game 2, you put 2 of these in. You would take out the sabotages. And just get rid of all the crazy blue stuff like Watcher, because it's not limited to units. It's just a card. Take away the Watchers, take away the Moonfalls, take away whatever, Singularities, Time Warps, whatever, and it doesn't cost any energy. And he said that is very good. Extra Sabotage for those decks that like Diana, that like to pull out a lot of things. Maybe you leave 1 Sabotage in and you take away maybe something else. I'm not too sure. Again, not my deck list. I just have to learn how to navigate a little bit more and how to sideboard it. Brittle Steel's obviously against some gear heavy decks. 2 more Pikes, which I found really interesting. So that makes it, you can effectively have 3 Pikes. Maybe you just want to match up against Annie. Maybe, like that was my thought. Because Annie's still a very good deck, very aggressive. And those units that get the 5 might with, for instance, the Rengar with a sword on it, maybe this is the reasoning behind it, I guess you can say, the fact that it can accelerate. You can even do crazy things where you can accelerate at a battlefield you control and gank over. Very good. So I guess maybe just in terms of just trying to go over those like aggro style decks. Not sure other than that. Another Rampage to pick some things off. And like we said, the Ferris Forerunner, if you're not going against any type of purple decks that bounce things because they have Starcross. And yeah, that is the deck list, guys. Definitely check out the gameplay footage. It's really cool because like as I'm playing the game, like you'll see that I'm like learning the lines. I'm like, oh, there's another layer to this deck that I didn't see like in real time. So definitely check that out. Hit up the comments. Let me know what you think. Definitely hit me up on the mistakes that I've made, because I loved it so much in the mail video. Not because, like, I don't think people are trying to make fun of me, but, like, it really opened up to my eyes. It was like, oh, wait, there's different lines that I didn't see. And I think that's where I really like making content, in the sense that we can learn from each other. So really, really cool. Hit up the comments. Let me know my misplays. I would love to hear from you guys. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the footage, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Alrighty. Beware of the Meow. Yeah, I love Prismat. Very big fan of him. He's easily my favorite player. And when he comes up with deck list, he should be honorably mentioned, and we need to make content about the stuff that he does, because the way that guy thinks is just incredible when it comes to this game. This seems like a pretty good hand. This is probably Poppy Aurora. A lot of people practicing for Speyer, which is tomorrow, and I'm making this video, and then I'm going to jump on stream, which is very exciting. So obviously easy turn 1. Oh no, this is Experience Poppy? What kind of deck is this? Alright, probably practicing. A lot of people on Rift Atlas these days. Okay, so we can't really drag him in anywhere. It's kind of awkward. He does have one open. I don't know what Poppy plays, honestly. Let's see. So if I drag in the thing, then I could first mate. Ready. No, I don't think I want to drag that, but I can score 2 points very easily, which is pretty crazy. Or is this just a development turn? I don't think there's no reason to be greedy here right now. I think we just develop. I think that's fine. That's okay. I mean, it seems like it's an experienced Poppy, so, like, I'm sure the player is experienced, guys. But it is a experienced build rather than the Aurora build, is what I meant to say. I think just developing the Kaisa is fine. Absolutely fine. There's no rush. I scale. This deck, like, is really good at scaling points very fast, so next turn we can do some crazy things with Kaisa, moving around off Star Spring with the Tide Turner. And then possibly pulling in any other bigger threats. And I think this is absolutely fine. Conquer with Kaisa, score a point. We save our Feyfolk for some, more important turn when he's trying to develop after we've established a board. Start taking away, plucking things out. I just didn't have any ambush stuff, really. That's the only issue. Okay, see, like this. Like, this is a perfect opportunity to do something like this, right? So we move in here, we pass, we conquer, we draw a card, right? Then we play this. Star Spring moves up, moves in here, draws a card. Conquer, score, draw. Then we have our Grim Apothecary, which is pretty crazy. So we can pull in the... I don't think we need to pull in the... We don't need to pull in the first mate. I'm sorry, guys. I think we just draw the two. We draw the two drop here. I have no idea what this Enthralling Protector, right? And then we just play this to save our Feyfolk, even though we have one in hand. Right? I think this is okay play. Then this goes to 4. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Blah blah blah. Tapped out. Drew 2 cards. Made 2 points. Pretty good. There's the Hunter's Machete. Gets +2. Wants to kill the Kaisa. That's absolutely fine. Now that we're in control of Star Spring, we can always shift our units into the other battlefield, which is pretty cool. This says Hunt. So he's gaining up on experience, which is kind of scary. But honestly, this is like a really... Well, I have to play around the punch first, so we kind of want to like play our cheaper stuff, really. So this will go to 4 after playing the Feyfolk. There's a trigger. Then we can play the Hopeful here. This will trigger Star Spring. Also, Pride Sucker trigger going up to 5. Then we do Sabotage to see what he has in his hand. There's the Punch first, and this is choose an enemy unit. Okay, so even if he plays this, like I can deramp, or I could even just so he's gonna play this, and I just play Nadali, or if he plays the Punch first. Can I play around the Punch first? I mean, I think it's always the Punch first. Like, this card is kind of annoying because I'm only going to go in with 1 unit. However, I can bounce him, right? I can bounce him, and then he'll still only be at 4, though. That's the issue. Well, then I can bounce and then Punch first. It's a lot of commitment, but after that, he's pretty much cooked, honestly. So I think we force him to deramp. So we'll get rid of the Punch first. So recycle Punch first. And then he wants to play that. That's 2 in a recycle. I can just bounce something and then... Or bounce him and then Punch first. Yeah, that's fine. Or we could just try and trade. Let's try and trade first. I'm okay with trading. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. We can even develop the Nadali here. No, I think we just hold on to everything. Yeah, that's fine. There's the Pocket Club. 7. He still has the thingy, which is fine. So we can clear this battlefield pretty well. And then we play the Nadali. We'll go up to 5. We trigger Star Spring to move the Faithful back to save it. So 9, 10, 11. Then again, this key matchup shouldn't be too hard. Because he's just running out of options at this point. What is it? Give a friendly unit +1, turn and stun enemy unit. I think we can just bounce here, right? Or we can just Rengar. I think it's fine just to pull the Punch first here in this situation. And save our bounce for the win when we want to react to something. That's fine. So this is stunned. And then we can just Punch first the Hopeful. Yep. And then we pass. He's tapped out. Kills the Dolly. Kills this. And then we can hide the Pack-a Club. Pack-a-Cub. And then we can move around to the other battlefield, which is absolutely fine. Yep. So we're gonna do this. This will go to 4. Trigger Star Spring. Oxyhopher goes there. We go there. We go to 6. Did that a little too fast. Maybe he wants to do something. I'm sorry. Okay, so he's gonna play his Rengar, in which I just play my Rengar, and then I go to 7, and we pass focus. He wants to do that, in which I will respond with a Thrill of the Hunt. so he bounces. Boom, stays at 7. This fizzles away out of existence. This goes away. I conquer to 7. I think I just get away. Like, just draw him in here. Gets to ready his thing, but that's fine. No, we're fine. I mean, Poppy comes in ready, right? Attaches, kills the Rengar, but I mean, at this point, I'm pretty well off. Like, I'm just, what, 5 points ahead? I'm sorry, 3 points ahead. 4 now, but no longer the case. I'm sure there's different ways to do that. I just haven't played the deck enough to kind of like dissect it and like know the proper lines. But honestly, it's like, it's an incredibly strong deck. How does he get ready? Okay, never mind. So now it's just the question of, do we have enough to get there? Or do we just hold? Because there's nothing this person can really do when it comes to ganking, unless he has a but let's see what he has in his hand. So he has a Repulse and a Master Yi, so Repulse goes away. I mean, there's nothing he can do. So I think we just chill. Like, there's no point in going to this battlefield because it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just kind of have to hold, but we can play the Faith Oak here and then leave one open. And then it's just GG's. That's why I love Star Spring. Controlling Star Spring also lets you control the other. Yeah, that's fine. So he's going to spend his experience to draw a card. And again, we will have GG's. GG's, cool. I really want to get good with this deck, guys. I feel like this may be the deck of the season for me. Alright, so I don't know what this deck really does. He had some equipment, so maybe we put in a Brittle Steel, although it didn't really feel that threatening. The stuff that he had was just like consistently just +2 stuff. We can take out Nadali because I mean, one Brittle Steel. The Sabotages were good. Rampages I didn't see any of. I think we can take out the Kinku. It's either the Kinku or the Nadali in terms of card draw. I like the Ambush, so maybe the Kinku goes away. Although Kinku is very efficient at card draw, because when it gets on, because when it is played, the Pride Stalker trigger happens. So we're going second. So Empress Dias. Sorry, Dias. People be bugging out about the way you say that. But honestly, it depends where you come from. All right, so like I don't know about like other parts of the world, but in the States, dude, like. You say caramel down in the South. When you're in Pennsylvania, you say crick instead of creek. Like, the same thing with that. Going second. Punch First is good against this. The Kais is good. I have nothing to combo with that quite yet. Worst case scenario, we just play the first mate, so... Yeah, okay, so we just play... Actually, the Kinku Monk's not bad. Like, granted, we don't get the card draw from it, but we have the card draw from Kaisa, so it's absolutely fine. So we'll just play the Kinku here. Because there's some really cool things we can do with First Mate. Oh, wait, bouncing First Mate gets the play effect again. That's pretty crazy. Does he have Hunt? Okay, so he's Hunt. So he goes 1. I'm glad we played, like, generally an off-meta deck, just because I can, like, kind of learn the deck a little bit. Plays that. Has some stuff to do. I don't think we commit to the... There's no reason to be aggressive here, is there? Although shutting him stuff online is pretty efficient. We can punch first. But we can also just move in here, conquer, get the effect, get the Sand Soldier, right? Play a little more tamed game, and then pass. I think that's absolutely fine. I mean, going second, you're always going to be low on points. I mean, behind on points at least by a turn. But I just don't think there was any reason to be like super aggressive that turn and rather wait. Okay, so he kills a Sand Soldier, whatever. And plus now we have 7 runes to work with, which is very, very good. He taps out for his thing and moves his stuff back. Cool. Alright, that's fine. So we can set up a pretty powerful turn here. Pretty good stuff here. We can also play a first mate. Alright, so we'll play the Kinku Monk. I think we're going to do the same thing. So this goes to 5. We draw. There's our pack of club. We'll go here. We'll draw. There's the Brittle Steel. We'll play our first mate to pull the Kaisa back. Or do I want to hold here? Because we get the ready 2. That puts... I think we hold here, actually. Because we have punch first and everything. So I think we hold... We hide the Pocket Cub here. When we have full runes open. I think this is good. I think this is going to be the swing turn. I think this is when it happens. And we can always Rengar as well. I think this is good. Then we pass. Ready 2 and pass. Technically I did have one floating. From hiding the... Okay, so he's gonna sabotage. That's fine. He can sabotage. Probably Thrill. Or one of the punch firsts. We have card advantage here, so this is absolutely fine. I love when you're like playing a new deck, and you kind of just start seeing... Like, I love the initial process of like start seeing all the lines and everything. It's very exciting stuff. So that gets recycled. That's fine. So I'll leave my hand open until the end of the turn. And yes, Draven. Yep, we'll get to Draven. We'll get to Draven. I just want to record this for the... for the new video. I know you guys have been asking for like mid-range Zed and Ari and all this other stuff. Trust me, like all that stuff is recorded. I just have to edit it. But like, it's not like I don't want to do it and give it to you guys. It's just like I literally have been practicing for the showdown like all week. Off stream for the most part this week. Last week I did like a lot of on stream, and it was weird because I couldn't really focus. We'll do one more today on stream tests, but like my off stream tests have been much more favorable in terms of like learning, just kind of like focusing on the game, because it's hard to like train for something when you're like focused on like entertaining and committing to chat. So yeah, it's pretty good. So we'll catch up on points, and then we can delete some things with Rampage, which is pretty cool. So we'll go here. Conquer. We'll pay the 1 to bounce this back and get the Sand Soldier. Then we'll pay the 3 to draw a card. Oops, that is a shadow token. Draw the card. We got the Pit Rookie, which is fine. I think we delete the Voracious Romp, right? There's a world where we can... No, we can't. Never mind. We'll pay the extra cost. Do this +2. Oh, also because the Sand Soldier, this is also plus just at 8. That's fine. I already did it. But yeah, the Sand Soldier triggers too, so... Yeah. And then we leave 1 open for the punch first, and looks pretty good to me. We didn't overcommit in any of our cards, you know. We played, what? 1 spell from hand, and conquered, and replayed the Kinku Monk. Seems pretty good. You know? At 4, feeling pretty safe. Okay, so there's like a big showdown gonna happen here now. Vi? I think it's Vi. He wants to pass. Okay, cool. So we're gonna play this. This will go to... I think we're gonna put this to... No, we'll do it even, so it doesn't matter what she stuns, because obviously the 5 in a power indicates like a Vi. Oh, he just wants to kill the thing. Okay. And then he's gonna Vi and stun it. But then I think it's 5, 10. Okay, so it'll go over the. It'll go over the P.A.K.A. if he Vi's here. And I don't want to just commit to the punch first just quite yet. If that's the case. He attaches. There's one floating. Okay. Seems pretty good. I like this deck. Goes to 5. If I commit to the punch first, he's just going to Vi. But I kind of want the Vi out. I hate to waste the punch first. But then if I do it next turn with the Kinku... yeah, no. He has a Vi in hand. So we're just gonna lose the P.A.K.A. Cub there. And probably just Rengar here in this situation because there's nothing. Well, he does have that one card that stuns, right? Oh, he had the Rengar. I wonder if we punch first here. Probably, right? We'll just punch first here. At least try to. Oh, okay, and then he just does that. Now he's like tapped out. Which is nice. He does have the... Is it like a 1 or is it... I think it's like 2 energy though. Oh, but he has enough for the thing. Because of Targon's Peak. Okay, interesting. I wonder if he has the thing that... Well, we could just Brittle Steel here. And first mate some stuff, right? I think we just Rengar here. If he has that one that... Okay, yeah, there we go. So we go there. And go here. Conquer here. I think we just keep it on there because I want to develop the Fey Folk. That's fine. We're ready to. Seems pretty strong. I think I just need to take some time looking through in terms. Oh yeah, see, I completely forgot about the Poppy because I never play against Poppy. But deck seems obviously very strong. In the hands of Prismat, it's just probably unstoppable. I mean, he went like what 29, 27 and 1. I think we commit to the punch first here. Obviously. Ooh, and the counter punch first. Arguably, we should have hidden the Pike there. Yeah, that's fine. But now he's complete. Well, he has 2 open though for Targons. Should have hidden the Pike there. I don't know what I was thinking, but I really didn't. I completely forgot. Okay, so there's something. He has 2 open. I can accelerate the. I'll pay the extra costs. This goes to 5. Alright, I think I just kind of want to fight it first. Oh no, I can't fight it though. 5. Oh wait, I can just drag it. And then just conquer here. Because I already held here. I'm an idiot. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can just drag him over, then I just went. So that's another thing that I didn't even see when I was looking through the deck list. Yeah, guys, you know, the reason I wanted to do a little video on this is because not only is Prismat, in my opinion, the GOAT, really like his deck building skills, I really like him as a player, and honestly, he seems like a super cool dude. But also, I'm expecting to see this deck tomorrow at the Showdown. So, you know, I just wanted to play a couple matches with it to see what to expect. And I'm just going to tell you right now, it's going to be really hard as Draven, especially to play against Rengar. Because this deck is really good at dealing with breakpoints by playing things from ambush. Obviously punch first, but yeah, it changes the way you need to do math during showdown. But also just the one might every now and then from ambush makes a huge difference. So yeah, that is the video. That is the deck list, guys. It is all over the internet. It is all over RiftX and Piltover Archive. Definitely check it out. Play it yourself. You know, hit up the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you would change. Would you tell Prismat, no, I would not do this. I would do this instead. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.